Let's talk about gender recognition laws in Ireland. Is Ireland an outlier, an exception, or what is the position in relation to gender recognition worldwide? Let's have a look at that now. Gender recognition laws are legal frameworks that allow individuals to legally change their gender on official documents such as passports, driver's licenses and birth certificates. These laws are essential for ensuring that transgender and gender non-conforming individuals are recognised and respected in accordance with their lived gender. The evolution of these laws is an important aspect of the global conversation around human rights, gender identity and equality. This video explores Ireland's approach to gender recognition law and offers a comparative look at how such laws are implemented globally. Ireland's gender recognition law. Ireland has been a progressive leader in recognising the rights of transgender individuals. The country passed the Gender Recognition Act 2015, a significant piece of legislation that allows people to legally change their gender without the need for medical intervention or surgery. Key features of the Gender Recognition Act 2015. 1. Self-declaration model. One of the most notable aspects of Ireland's Gender Recognition Act is the self-declaration model. Under this law, an individual can change their legal gender by simply declaring their gender identity to a government authority. This eliminates the need for medical assessments, psychological evaluations or surgery, which had previously been barriers to legal recognition of gender. 2. Age requirements. The law allows individuals aged 18 and over to apply for gender recognition by making a statutory declaration. For individuals under 18, the process is more complex and requires parental consent and a court application. The legal recognition of gender for minors is still a contentious issue in many countries, and Ireland's law reflects a cautious approach. 3. Impact on birth certificates. The Gender Recognition Act also ensures that individuals who change their gender on their official documents are entitled to have their birth certificates amended accordingly. This ensures that all official records reflect the person's gender identity, promoting greater social inclusion and reducing discrimination. 4. International recognition. One key aspect of the Irish law is that it aligns the country with international standards on gender recognition, particularly with the European Court of Human Rights. This supports the right to privacy and personal autonomy while promoting equality for transgender people. 5. Exclusions and gaps. While the Irish law represents a significant step forward, critics have noted that it does not allow non-binary individuals to be legally recognised. The law is specifically designed for male and female categories, and there is no provision for a third gender category, a feature that some countries have begun to introduce. The global landscape of gender recognition laws. Gender recognition laws vary significantly around the world, with some countries taking progressive steps towards inclusivity, while others maintain restrictive or discriminatory practices. Progressive legal frameworks. Argentina. Argentina is often cited as a model for progressive gender recognition law. The Gender Identity Law of 2012 allows individuals to change their gender on official documents without any requirements for medical procedures. The law provides a broad scope of protections for transgender people and has been heralded as one of the most advanced in the world. 2. Malta. Malta's Gender Identity, Gender Expression and Sex Characteristics Act, passed in 2015, is another highly inclusive legal framework. Malta's law not only allows for self-declaration of gender, but also ensures protections against discrimination based on gender identity and expression. The law is recognised for its commitment to the human rights of transgender people, particularly in the areas of healthcare and legal gender recognition. 3. Canada. In Canada, gender recognition is largely a provincial issue, but recent legal changes have made it easier for transgender people to change their gender on identification documents across the country. The law allows for a self-declaration process in most provinces, and some provinces also allow individuals to select a non-binary gender option. Canada's progressive approach is in line with its broader commitment to human rights and diversity. 4. United Kingdom. In the UK, the Gender Recognition Act 2004 allows individuals to change their gender legally, but it requires a medical diagnosis of gender dysphoria and, in some cases, a period of living in the gender for a certain time before recognition is granted. There has been ongoing debate about updating this law to make the process more inclusive and less medicalised, with calls for a self-declaration model similar to Ireland's. Restrictive and discriminatory practices. 1. United States. In the US, the situation varies significantly between states. Some states have passed laws allowing transgender people to change their gender on identification documents with minimal requirements, while others imposed stringent criteria. The federal government has adopted a policy of allowing a gender-neutral X option on passports, but this is not universally available across all states, and a medical diagnosis is still often required. 2. Hungary. Hungary has taken a more restrictive approach. In 2020, the Hungarian government passed a law that effectively bans legal gender changes, making it impossible for transgender individuals to alter their gender marker on official documents. This regressive move has been widely condemned by human rights organisations and is seen as a violation of the rights of transgender individuals. 3. Poland. In Poland, transgender people can change their gender legally, but the process is complicated and requires court approval, often with lengthy legal battles. Additionally, societal attitudes towards transgender people in Poland can be less supportive, making the legal process more difficult for many. 4. Russia. In Russia, legal gender recognition exists, but it is subject to rigid requirements, including medical diagnoses and sometimes surgical procedures. The broader social climate towards LGBTQ+ rights in Russia is often hostile, and transgender individuals face significant challenges in accessing healthcare and legal recognition. Non-binary and third gender recognition. Some countries have introduced options for non-binary or third gender recognition. For example, Nepal introduced a third gender option on legal documents in 2007, making it one of the first countries in the world to legally recognise a third gender. India and Pakistan have also introduced legal provisions for a third gender, often referred to as the Hira community, although these measures are often seen as symbolic rather than fully inclusive. However, in most parts of the world, non-binary and gender-diverse identities remain marginalised, and legal systems often struggle to accommodate individuals who do not identify strictly as male or female. Challenges and future directions. Significant strides have been made in recognising transgender rights. Challenges remain. In many parts of the world, transgender individuals continue to face discrimination, violence, and lack of access to health care. The legal process for gender recognition is often complex, and many transgender people still find themselves unable to access the basic human right of legal recognition of their gender identity. Advocates for transgender rights continue to call for reforms, including the implementation of self-declaration laws in more countries to ensure that transgender individuals can access legal recognition without invasive medical requirements. The recognition of non-binary genders in legal frameworks, reflecting a growing understanding of gender as a spectrum, greater protection against discrimination and violence, as well as improvements in healthcare access for transgender individuals. In conclusion, Ireland's Gender Recognition Act 2015 represents a progressive step towards the full legal recognition of transgender people in line with international human rights standards. While much of the world has made significant strides towards recognising the rights of transgender individuals, there remains many challenges, particularly for those seeking legal recognition of non-binary genders. Continued advocacy and reform are essential to ensuring that all individuals can live authentically and with dignity, regardless of their gender identity. The global movement for gender recognition is part of the broader fight for equality and human rights, and as more countries adopt inclusive policies, the legal landscape will continue to evolve, offering hope for a more inclusive future for transgender and gender diverse people. This will call for no less than a culture change. Hope you find the video informative, stimulating, useful. If you do, I'd appreciate if you hit the thumbs up button down below. You may be interested in sharing the video with somebody who you think might find it useful, and you may want to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much.